26% of high school students believe their future job hasn't been invented yet. How should students prepare for a future that's unknown? And what opportunities await them right here in Kansas City? We'll be exploring these topics and more in KCPT's Getting to Work Town Hall, a part of the American Graduate Initiative.
Funding for this program was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting as part of the Public Media Initiative, American Graduate, Getting to Work.
Welcome. I'm Miles Sandler of the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation. Thanks for joining us for a look at the future of work in Kansas City. Joining us today are high school students, college students from across the metro. Our group also includes a number of educators and other community members, including a few we would like to introduce to you right now. Anita Davis is the Workforce Development Program Director for the Mid-America Regional Council, our regional convener for local governments. Susan Wally is the president and CEO of Prep KC, an organization dedicated to improving college and career readiness for local students. Andre Davis is the business development executive for Built Interior Construction. Construction is one of the most in-demand careers in the KC area. And Dr. Kenny Rodriguez, the superintendent of Grandview Schools and one of the 15 district leaders, a part of the Real World Learning Initiative that launched earlier this year, an effort to provide each student the learning experience they need to be prepared for life after high school. I would love to first talk to you, Hannah. Hannah, you have a unique role at your school. So many students have a job after high school, but you're actually a store manager for All Things Independence, which is a student-operated business right on the heart of Main Street within the Independence Square. So please, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Our business model, we create student spirit wear for all three of our Independence high schools.
How has this role, this position actually helped prepare you for your next steps in the future?
Exploring all of the different types of business, I've been able to kind of eliminate marketing from my ideas of what I want to do. I'm more interested in the finance aspects of business.
Awesome. Well, I know that you prepared a question, and so I'd love you to read it out, and then we'll have one of our community members address it.
Knowing that 26% of jobs that I could hold haven't been created yet, what workforce skills do I need to start preparing on now to be ready for those jobs?
Susan, I know that you think about this all the time.
There are an array of skills that are sometimes they're called competencies that are critical. We used to call them soft skills, but they're really not soft. The employers really value them. And they're skills like the ability to analyze, pull in a lot of information, a lot of data, analyze it, and draw conclusions, sort of the analytics, the thinking habits, and there's skills like the ability to collaborate with others, to know when you should maybe lead on a team of people and when you can be part of the team and contribute on the team. I think the third one I would mention, but there are many more, are really good communication skills. So can you communicate your ideas in a compelling way that people want to follow you and engage with you around your ideas?
What about you? Is there a skill that you feel like you've been honing as a student that's going to be really important for your future?
I've taken a lot of engineering courses over the last, I have to say, 6 years. I've been doing it since middle school. Doing robotics, programming. I've worked in programs, 3D modeling programs, and these are things that I know will help me because my interest is in architecture, and I've been to firms and they still use these programs that I'm using currently in school. Now, this will help me when I get to that point where I want to join that workforce.
That's great. Thank you so much, Noah. I'm gonna shift now to a question for Grant.
How do schools need to change in order to meet the needs of the marketplace?
Dr. Rodriguez, how do you think students are best prepared for the marketplace?
Well, I think what we try to do is certainly start earlier, and it's not just something that happens their junior and senior year. We have things like second grade classes debating the value of video games, and they stand up and actually have to form a construction argument and then listen to the other side and actually go back and reevaluate their position and argue back. So those kinds of things to be able to be creative, but also take the data and understand what's happening and form those constructive thoughts really start to benefit students the longer that they do that. Certainly putting them in groups, working in groups, the ability to do that, that's difficult to do, even if you're an adult. So certainly making sure that students have more of those opportunities. And then once they do start to get into middle school and high school, providing them more of an opportunity to at least explore the opportunities that exist. What do you want to do? What are your passions? We want every one of our students to have a path once they graduate from high school. And if not, then we haven't done our job. But part of that is exploring while they're in our high schools to where they can have the opportunity to explore and understand, nope, I don't want to do that. I don't understand or don't want to do the marketing side of things anymore. I know I don't want to do that. So let me see what else is possible. And then working more with our community and making sure that we have an opportunity to work with the businesses out in the field, and so that we get that information from them, and then getting our students out of our school to be in those settings.
Dr. Rodriguez brought up something really important, exploration, right? So I'd love to hear from any of y'all an experience you've had where you've explored something and realized, hey, that was maybe something I love or maybe something I didn't love.
I'm currently a part of the Prep KC Cerner program, and it's so where high school students can actually go over to a Cerner campus and actually learn computer science, and then the second semester of their schooling, they can actually get an internship at Cerner. And so this has been a chance for me I really had never thought about exploring the field of computer science, but just having this opportunity and be able to see what it's like, it's been sort of great to see that this is a career that I might want to pursue in the future.
Absolutely. Tracy McCown, you have also a very unique role in your school. So you are part of a technology class. That sounds pretty simple, but you actually operate a real-life help desk that actually supports students and lets them explore kind of options around technology. So I'd love to just hear a little bit about what you do and how does that work?
Yeah, so our program, it's called Tech Maintenance, and I guess our main priority is taking in students' Chromebooks, school-issued Chromebooks, and fixing them, but there's a lot more to it than that. There's a big self-study aspect of it. I'm working on coding and in this game development engine called Unity, which is something I love doing, and I've been exploring it for the past 2 years. So this program has just provided me a great opportunity to kind of explore my interests and learn how to study something on my own.
You say, this gives you this time to kind of explore and study on your own. What is it like also having to assist other students?
It's a great feeling that my fellow students can come in and ask me for help with something, and I can turn around, figure out what the problem is, and give it back to them.
We're going to pivot to the student next to you. Rhett Spell, you actually have a question.
What do business leaders think about the present and future changes in the education system?
Andre, I'd love to go to you. How do you address this question?
So yeah, what I would share with the educators, and I think these two get it, is no longer are you standing at a podium and really speaking to kids because it doesn't resonate with you. You have different kind of things happening. You have collaboration areas. You have students that are learning at a certain level, working with each other. Understand businesses operate the same way. I don't have a desk. I work remotely. I come into the office. I work at a coffee shop. I work from home. I work at a company site. But then we collaborate, right? And so if you're taking someone that's in a cubicle or someone that's in a classroom setting where you have someone out front, and you're teaching that way, and then they enter a career where it's collaborative, there's a disconnect. You don't function well in that environment. And so what I would say is for educators, continue going against the grain. Continue to mirror what companies are doing, because if you mirror what companies are doing, these kids, your students will be much better prepared. They're better employed. And then, by the way, not everyone has all the ideas. And it's okay to bring others into that equation and go, hey, what do you think? It's okay to do that. That's collaborative thinking. And that's a lot of what the environment is today.
You just heard from a business leader that says, you know, we want you in there, we want you engaging, right? Work doesn't look like it might have looked like 20 years ago. So for you, when has been a moment that learning came alive in maybe a high school setting or outside of a high school setting? So I'd be curious to hear that.
I originally went into Northland CAPS thinking that I wanted to be a radiologist. I wanted to be in the hospital. And then throughout the year, I've kind of figured out that maybe I don't want to be a radiologist. I want to be something else, and maybe not so much in the hospital. I want to be more hands-on and maybe more in the outpatient clinic. And it's taught us so much. I mean, I'm CPR certified and vital signs certified. I mean, it's just crazy what I've learned throughout this program.
That's amazing. I love that. We're going to shift over. So TJ Oni, you have a question.
What are the in-demand careers and jobs that are in need of workers?
Anita.
Yes, that is a great question. And I think we've touched on a lot of the in-demand careers and occupations so far. So skilled trades and construction, we estimate that over the next 5 years, there will be approximately 136,000 skilled trades occupations created. Manufacturing, they're in huge demand for manufacturing. Everything from sort of entry-level occupations to middle-skilled tech occupations to welding. And these are all occupations that you can get into with short-term sort of stackable credential training programs, competency-based programs that can move you into pretty decent wage pretty quickly. Healthcare will always be in demand. There will always be positions in healthcare, whether that is from front office, medical records, sort of back office work to the clinical and technical positions within healthcare. And then, of course, as we've all mentioned, we have such rapidly advancing technology that we are going to continually need individuals in web development, coding and programming, and software engineering and computer science fields, as well as database administration, as we continue to look at everything that we can do in every industry around data. We'll also be needing people in the field of cybersecurity. There's huge risks, whether that is on our mobile phone or our laptop devices. So cybersecurity is another in-demand and growing field.
Are you seeing young people staying in Kansas City, or are you seeing them leaving?
You know, that is a very interesting question. There is some work partially looking at that and trying to understand where young professionals have learned their sort of core competencies. And in a sense, there's some information that we're gathering around that about where our professionals are going. So we do see that we have a little bit of brain drain. I think that there are people that are leaving our region. We're trying to understand why. Is this because it's a better kind of cost of living? Is it a better living environment? Are there more industry and occupational opportunities? Is it just a better wage? But I do think that we also find that a lot of young people want to stay and give back to the communities that they grew up in. They're connected to Kansas City, and there's a great opportunity, as we've mentioned here, for them to move into a lot of great roles here. So I'm excited to see all of the interest around developing our talent and all of the support that there is here in this community.
And I'm curious, when you think about taking that step into the workforce, where are you imagining, where are you exploring, where are you envisioning yourself landing?
Over the course of this year and a little bit of last year, I've been kind of inducted, I guess, into our school's film crew. And with that, we've been kind of able to go places in Kansas City that I really wouldn't have thought that I would have been able to go in high school. So an example of this would be like OmniLife VR, which is right in Crossroads District in Kansas City, which is something that I didn't even know existed until this year. They're working in depth with using virtual reality to help with, older patients struggling with dementia, schizophrenia, things like that. And it's been really interesting to kind of learn about stuff like that, because that just popped up here a couple of years ago. So seeing stuff like that really it's very interesting to me, at least, being able to see jobs that, I wouldn't even have thought to be a possibility up until a couple years ago.
Roman Birch, we'd love to hear from you. You are actually at the Career and Technical Center at Fort Osage. Do you think that you're going to stay in the law enforcement space? Or if not, what do you think this is preparing you for?
Personally, I'm planning to, after high school, I'm going down and I'm going to become a Marine. And if everything goes as planned, I'll become a linguistics. And after I come out of service, I'm planning to go career, which is 20 years. I'm planning on becoming maybe a Jackson County Park Ranger.
Love it.
Wow.
That is a plan. Thank you, Roman, so much for sharing. I want to ask the group a question around kind of opportunity. So we know that opportunity is not always equally distributed. How do we get to a place where everybody has those type of opportunities?
I believe when we start employing programs like we've been talking about, and more kids join up, they'll understand that there are entry-level positions and there are opportunities in which they don't have to go to college for 13 years just to do. And so I think that there is opportunity, there is space for the teenagers to work in, just as long as we employ programs like we've been talking about. Students will find the opportunity needed.
I've never been really sure what I wanted to do, and then I'd taken some engineering courses, and the teachers liked me, and they told me I was doing well, and that really helped me. And they gave me places to explore that told me, I was told about tons of internships, places I could go gain information about this stuff, how to grow, and it helped me figure out what I wanted to do.
Kind of opened up that window.
Yeah, I think it's very much your teachers and counselors and people. If they talk to you and they just have to just display all this stuff, and then they help you pick what you want to do, really. I feel like that impacted me a lot.
So I think kind of pulling both of the responses before together, it's awareness and empowerment. Because I think kids need to be made aware of the opportunities that are in Kansas City specifically, but then also empowered to go try and take the initiative and do those opportunities and get involved in different organizations and really take hold of their own futures.
Yes.
I strive to empower my students by modeling opportunities. So I try to take advantage of everything and be outside the box and be uncomfortable with them and take opportunities as much as I can too.
Wonderful. So we haven't talked a lot about discomfort. What are some fears?
For the longest time, I was like one of the shyest kids in elementary school, so I would never talk. And growing up, I would always see like these people on stages with like politics or even like marketing and stuff, like promoting what they believe in. And as a child, I always knew I wanted to do that, despite if I was shy or not. And the fear I had was public speaking in front of a lot of people, especially. And as you can see, I've like grown out of that because I knew that even though I was afraid of it, I had to go for it because that's what I envisioned myself doing and that's what I wanted to do. So discomfort is a necessary thing to succeed in life. So I think that's just something anybody needs to go through living.
I'm in the fire science program, so a lot of what we do is like uncomfortable. Walking into a fire or a building that's on fire, that's uncomfortable. And so we're just highly encouraged to take all of those risks.
Yeah.
And that's definitely our instructors. But that's things that are uncomfortable. We have to take that step and try and move through it.
Miles, let me jump in real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the adults in the room, right, the ones that are here speaking to you, we all have fears too, right? Failure is a gift, because that's where all the lessons are, right, in life. And so when you look at, so Kenny's clean, he's got his nice suit on, right? So there's a start to Kenny, right? You don't often get a chance to know what that start is because you're experiencing what you think the end result is. Kenny's still moving towards what he's supposed to be doing in life. That's amazing, right? Because I still don't know what I want to do, right? I'm still figuring that out, but I'm having fun along the way. So I love that you know. But just know that even when you see people come in and present to you and they walk and they look like they have everything together, there's a path to that, There's a story to that. It wasn't always pretty. We make it look like it's easy. It's not easy. There's a lot of work that goes into what we do. That'll never stop being the case. And at the end of the day, you are exactly responsible for your path in life. And I love that teachers that are influencing you and helping you. We all do that here. That's why we're here. But you are responsible for when you do well, when you do bad, you own it. And just know that failure is a gift to you.
Yes, in the back.
When I was little and I'd like mess up or do something in front of people that I felt uncomfortable with, my dad would always be like, okay, so how do we fix this? Like, you failed, now what do you need to do to succeed? And when I was little, I'd always be like, ugh, I don't want to look back on that. I don't want to look back on my failures. But now he taught me that, like, when I mess up in front of a group or when I do fail, I need to take that and like express like, okay, now what do I need to do to fix this? What steps do I need to take to succeed? And how do I use that failure to like grow and make myself better?
Absolutely.
And so I'm really grateful that like I had a dad, or like I had people telling me, okay, like how do we fix this? Like let's focus on like what went wrong and figure out how to succeed and like how to change that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that people really need to, like, that people should always think like, oh, let's not focus on like, oh, I'm so upset that I failed.
Yeah.
Like, let's focus on, oh, yay, like a learning opportunity.
Absolutely. We learn so much from our mistakes,
100%.
right? We had a question or a comment over here.
I just want to speak for those families and those students that are not represented here and are rarely represented in any space when we're talking about access and opportunity. Students with disabilities are completely left out of the equation for all that we're talking about here. As a parent, it is heartbreaking to think that we sit back and our students graduate from high school and they graduate to the sofa. And many parents are quitting their jobs and staying home and babysitting their adult children for the rest of their lives. I would hope that every person in this room commits themselves to saying, let's make sure that these students, they leave here and they're able to be contributing members of society, and that we don't leave not one child behind as we talk about advancing our workforce and making sure that we're building a better Kansas City.
Yes,
Well
thank
said.
you, Kim. Very well said.
Well said.
Yes.
I think from a career educator perspective, we've heard a lot about people being uncomfortable and being willing to be uncomfortable. I think the education community needs to be. We've been doing a disservice to our kids. In the short, it's not that we don't work hard, it's that we work hard toward the wrong thing. And getting kids these connections into our community here in professional connections, career connections, is something that all of the education community, all of our teachers, not just the ones who are concerned about careers, not the ones that are in Project Lead the Way and different things like that, not just our career and tech teachers, need really badly education on and to be willing to do.
You know, one of the things that has really struck a nerve for me is that several people have said, well, it's 13 years to reach that goal. And actually, it's more about the journey. And then to hear that students need, because I was thinking, how are we going to survive this? Because these careers are in dire need of new people. And how are we going to inspire young people to go into those fields that the journey is so long? And so the thing that helped me with that was, well, I need a mentor. I need someone to kind of push behind me and inspire me and lead me through the process and teach me that it's a lifelong journey. And it isn't about, you know, anymore, medicine's not about practicing in isolation. It's about practicing in collaboration.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very encouraged and very inspired by these young people today.
We have a young lady right here.
I'm terrified to like fail at anything that I do. But I also we have 2 student-led businesses within our school. We have a coffee shop run by Tina Foltz in the accounting department, and then the marketing department is the Panther Market, which is also set up through DECA, ran by Kimberly Schrader. And those teachers have been a huge, inspiration to me in a way that not only like do they let students run it, they let students fail. So if we push out a market or market an item that doesn't work, they're like, okay, then you need to set up something and get back into it. And so they're not afraid to let us fail as well. And it helps us to see that some things just don't go your way in life.
Yes.
And it's a very good thing because they're failing alongside with us just as well. It's an experience, and if we screw up at something, they're more than willing to take the blame for it, but they're also expecting that we take the responsibility for the failure that happened.
So we'll take one more. Go ahead, Bella.
I've been so grateful for all my experiences going into working with these big businesses. I haven't been judged by my age, and I've been treated at the same level, and I'm very thankful to see in society there's starting to be more of a push that people are believing in our younger age and seeing our potential more.
At that note, I think that's a perfect place to close. I just want to thank you all for your time, for your effort to be here, for sharing your hopes and your dreams, and also just sharing what you think the future can be, because I am very excited by all the potential that I feel in this room. I'm Miles Sandler from the Kauffman Foundation. Special thanks to Susan Wally of Prep KC, Anita Davis of MARC, Andre Davis of BUILT, and Dr. Kenny Rodriguez of Grandview Schools. To the students, educators, and community members that are in this audience as well as outside of this audience, we thank you. And to KCPT's viewers and supporters. Find out more about in-demand jobs, innovative local career readiness programs, and students that are finding success in Kansas City at kcpt.org/American Graduate. Take care.
Funding for this program was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting as part of the Public Media Initiative, American Graduate, Getting to Work.